You're watching the Biker Protocol channel. Mwah.
Welcome to Biker Protocol, the YouTube channel where you get all your protocol. I'm Hollywood.
You get all your something.
Hollywood with Black Patch MC, and we got
I'm Picasso with the Eagle Riders MC.
we got some terminology because there's a lot of terms and terminology that I think a lot of people might not know about.
Well, so I'm going to jump in. So this is actually going to be a series we're going to do because there's so many of them, right? But I had this idea to do this as a topic, and I didn't even tell you why. So, you're like, oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I figured I'd jump in. So, I got asked. I was talking with another club member. We were at a restaurant, and so we were talking about we had church coming up, right? So we're paying our bill, and it was like, oh, is church this Saturday? It was like something like that. Is church this Saturday? And this woman who was ringing us up at the cashier in the restaurant, she was like, oh, that's really nice. You guys are like church-going people, right? And I'm like,
oh yeah.
I don't think there's been one person who's been within like 100 yards of a church in a long time.
Yeah.
Right. So, but we all got a chuckle out of that because she obviously didn't know the context of like church as we refer to church. So that's what made me think this would be a good topic to talk about.
Yeah. Why not?
And why not? So.
Well, you want to go first?
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. So church, right? So why do bikers? So church, for those of you who are unaware. And it's funny how we run into people that ride motorcycles. And this is why we do videos like this is we have subscribers of this channel that ride bikes that are not in clubs that don't understand this stuff. And so when they start to get closer to the club culture, they go, oh, they never knew that. Or they hear these words and they don't equate it to anything. And so, we kind of want to maybe explain some of these things for people that are a little less knowledgeable that are moving into club culture.
And I think inevitably, even if you don't want to be in a club, you're going to be around other clubs if you're going to any kind of bike events, unless you're just that lone wolf, right? Which you've done a video of that. You're going to be around it, and it's kind of nice to probably know a little bit what they're talking about,
right?
And how they're
so all church means is it's your club meeting, right? So most clubs have a meeting once a month, and most of them fall strictly with is it Rogers or Robert's Rules of Order?
Rule of Law.
Rule of Law. Thank you. And so, it's a formal organization where your club gets together and you talk about old business, new business, what's coming up, things that the board has had dealings with, rides you're doing. These are the kind of conversations that you talk about.
It's your, in a business sense, it's called your minutes.
Right.
Your meeting minutes.
Well, your minutes are the notes that your club secretary keeps. Yeah. And usually the minutes, we kind of have to always nudge our secretary sometimes, but minutes are supposed to come out usually within a week after the meeting for members that can't make it. But generally churches, everybody needs to be there. It's a requirement. It's not an optional thing unless you're working or some other issue. And that's why a lot of times it's good to put church on a day when everybody can be there. Because it's not always on a Sunday. But church should be a place where everybody needs to attend. We do our church typically like on Saturdays, and then we do a ride afterwards because we know everybody's going to be there.
Yeah, it's your town hall to talk about what you want to talk about.
But and be clear, it's a closed door event. This is not open to. We have had churches where we brought in like maybe. Like we've had open churches where we don't talk about club business stuff or finances or anything like that. But we, just invite people over so they can get to know us a little bit better. But generally church is a closed door event. This is right. You're talking, your treasurer does a treasury report, talk about how much money's in the account, things like that. Right. And so it's a private thing and it's organized and, your president usually runs it. Sometimes usually Sergeant at Arms might. And so that's a sacred event that's internal for your club only.
It's probably one of the top terms and I would think you would hear and top things that you do in a club.
Right. And the reason it's called church is because it's that important to go to. It's almost a religious experience. I wouldn't go quite that far, but
Or maybe it could be the opposite.
Yeah. Usually is too.
And it's not always on a Sunday, as you mentioned.
Right.
Just, like you said, it's the importance, I guess.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
I'm gonna. Well, do you want to go another one or
no? You go. Your turn.
So I get the fun ones.
You got the butt ones this month.
Yeah, sweet butt and iron butt. They are not the same.
No, they are not. Yeah, they have nothing to do with one another.
Sweet butt. If you've watched Sons of Anarchy, you've obviously seen this. how do I put it nicely?
This term actually came out of the 60s from what I understand, but yeah.
It's the girl that floats around in the clubs, like
ended around a little bit. Yeah.
She hangs out with the clubs, the club or whatever, and the members and
not committed to anybody.
Yeah, use your imagination. That's where I'm going to go with that. I mean, there's not much more else to say about it. But you kind of, if you're around the scene enough, you'll see that one girl that is always around.
Right.
Probably, but don't assume.
Right.
Because, it could actually be someone's. And actually, I'm going to segue that because that's actually a better way. But not going to iron butt just yet, but segue into because it could be someone's old lady.
Old lady.
Which would be the other term. They're not necessarily meaning it's old.
No.
It's just like the significant other, the wife, the girlfriend.
And to be clear, that's not a derogatory term. A lot of people hear that. Like when I started getting into club culture, I remember my father, who had passed away a couple years ago, but he overheard that word once, right? And he's like, "Oh my God, it's such a why would anybody call somebody like his wife that's so mean and derogatory? And why would she?" And he never could understand why she would put up with it. It's like because it's not a derogatory term, and I think a lot of people on the outside of our culture don't get that.
I mean, I think it's just kind of honestly, I don't know exactly where that term necessarily comes from, but I've heard it outside of motorcycle culture. The old lady. I got to check in with the old lady
And women's call us the old man.
Yeah, so I think it's just like
it's a term of endearment, but it's more unique into our culture. But it comes from other cultures too. Bikers aren't the only ones who use it.
I mean, I call my fiance the old lady, and she's younger than me. So
yeah, right, there you go. But it is not a derogatory term. Yeah.
But the old lady. So to put it more clear, the old lady is the one that makes you dinner, and the sweet butt is the one that you make dinner. So,
I'll buy that. Sure.
Anyways.
That makes sense. I'll buy that.
What do you got here?
My next one is, and we hear this one a lot too. People ask us, what in the world is that? Is a cage or a cager? So this is a term a lot of bikers use. It's for those who are driving a car, especially if they're driving a car to a biker event.
Yeah.
But whenever we refer to people as a cager, a cage is a car, right? Yeah. Because you're surrounded by a cage as opposed to being on a motorcycle, where you have the freedom of that vehicle, right? A cage is a vehicle that is a car or a truck or an SUV. And then a cager is the person who's driving that thing. So, so when you hear us talk about, oh yeah, this cager just cut me off, that's usually what they mean is a car cut you off.
Yeah, and then we've done videos about what not to wear in your cage.
Oh right. Oh, that's true too. As a cager, never wear your cut in your cage. That's
iron butt. So I've done a few of those.
Yeah, you have.
It's just imagine if your butt were iron. Why would? Okay, no, let's take that back a little bit. You ride your motorcycle for miles and miles at a time, your butt's gonna hurt, and if it doesn't, you've got an iron butt. You're able to put those miles down. There's actually an association called the Iron Butt Association, which I've actually completed 2 of those where they have different versions of it, but the main one, the popular one, is 1,000 miles in 24 hours,
right? And you have to provide receipts, and it's like a very organized thing. So you just don't say it, and
they've been around for a long time too, and so it's just like a notch on your belt type thing. Like, oh, I've ridden 1,000 miles, in 24 hours. So iron butt. Yeah.
I've done it unofficially. I just never had the desire to really, I don't need the patch for it. It's cool. I mean, I'm not knocking people that did it. I think it's great people do it. It's fun. It's a fun little badge of honor, right? I've done it, just never done it officially. But even after like 700-800 miles, you start getting squirrely.
I always say like the first one I did, I was like, I don't ever want to do that again, and then I did it again.
Yeah, then you did it again, right?
And I said, I don't want to do that again. I mean, same with you. There's probably been a few times where I didn't bother submitting the receipts.
Right.
I just
we had a guy who wanted to do it in our club. The guy was so crazy. He wanted to do it in the worst way, right? So but he wasn't sure if he could do it. So he's like, before I actually do it officially, I'm going to see if I can make the miles in 24 hours. So he went and did the iron butt unofficially, and the next day did it officially. Like in less than 72 hours, did it again officially and did it. I was like, man, you're nuts.
I'll have to say a quick story on that. Was 2020, the pandemic, everything was shut down. No one's on the roads. Best time to do an iron butt.
Oh man, no kidding.
The iron butt bun burner, which was 1,500 miles in 36 hours.
Wow.
But it was amazing because literally we went up from Vegas to Mount Shasta and back. No one on the road. It was the best time to be on a motorcycle.
Well, during that time, they don't officially run it anymore, but the Cannonball Run, they made a movie and the whole thing, right? But people still run it to break the record, right? And it's from sea to shining sea across the country, right? And I heard that the Cannonball Run record had stood for many years, but during COVID was broken many times because nobody's on the road, right?
It was great.
So yeah, it was a good time to make cannonball runs. So,
what else you got there?
My last one is rags. So it's a lot of terms for the same thing. So a lot of people call what we wear. I'm bumping my mic. These things. This is your vest, right? Vest is the general term for it, right? Because a lot of motorcyclists wear these without any colors or club affiliation or anything. So it's a leather vest, right? Or sometimes denim. But that's your vest. But when we start to get into the club culture and into our protocols, there's a variety of terms people have for these, all of which are accurate. So it's cut or cut, depending on how you want to spell it, right? I guess the official technical term for it, from what I'm told, and again, much debate about this, so if you have a different opinion on this, we'd love to hear it in the comments, is cut with a K. So Kutte, right? Yeah. So it has different, it's kind of a German origin from what I understand, but the term cut, C-U-T, kind of lazily came out of that. Because they cut the sleeves off the vest, right? So that's where that came from. So people started calling it a cut with a C, but it's more of like a battle vest, I guess, if you want to call it that, with a K. So both are right. There's no right or wrong. Some people call them rags. You hear that a lot. You know, it's not a derogatory term, but I'd take my rags off. Things like that, right? So, but they're all accurate, but that's what that means. So it's rags, cut, vest, all kind of the same thing. But generally when you're in the club culture, it's usually a cut.
Yeah.
So you usually refer to it as a cut.
Cool. You want to do any more? Or are we gonna?
Oh, that's right. You did a few already. Well, we can do one more. I'll do this one. We hear this one a lot. Is and it's called a sweep. So this term is usually referred to. It's sweep as in it's a noun or a verb. Going back to that level in school.
I didn't do well in English.
Yeah. So a sweep can be the person who does the action of a sweep. So sweep is a lot of times when you're riding in a group formation, and I know a lot of people hate this. Certainly cagers. See, we're using a new word here today, right? Cagers really hate sweeps because a sweep is usually a person. A lot of times it's a road captain or a person who's a road guard of some sort of a group. You might have a pack of 20 bikes moving out at one time, and a sweep is the kind of person that will move out into traffic less than legally, let's just say, and block traffic, right? Because as you separate the group, if you get cars coming in, it becomes safety hazards. Then you've got a pack of 15 guys moving up a mile ahead of the other people that get stuck. So a lot of times clubs, when they're riding in formation and riding in groups, it's best to keep them together. So a sweep will move out and they will do a sweep, which is basically pull out of formation, maybe block a motion of cars coming at them so that they can stop. So they'll pull out a little bit of ways. They put hands up, put emergency blinkers on. Sometimes charity rides that are legally allowed to do this with maybe a police escort, they will still do it. And again, it's just to block traffic so that cars don't cut into them or cause accidents or things like that. And that's what a sweep is. And when they do a sweep, that's what that is. So
and that's your English lesson for now.
Right. Yeah. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so to our channel and click the notification bell. That means every Friday you'll get our videos, and our new videos, Tales from the Road, come out midweek. So if you haven't done that, please like and subscribe, and leave us a comment if you have any questions on any terms that you maybe wondered what they mean. We'll address it.
And I was gonna say, give Layla some love on her.
She would love that. Yeah, she's a hoot. Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway,
she's great. Oh, we got to do another. What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing today. Another vodka or something rather. Oh man, we did a shot out of these glasses and I washed them out. It was like this green toxic whatever it was. It was one we did a while ago. I still taste it. It's like, oh man, that was like multiple videos ago. These glasses.
Motor oil.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one, and keep the shiny side up. So yeah, peace out.
Shiny side. Next vocabulary lesson.
Peace.